The Rotary Foundation is Rotary International's global philanthropy organization and transforms gifts into service projects that changes lives both close to home and around the world. Rotary Foundation Australia connects generous cooperation, philanthropies and individuals with Rotary projects that make a significant difference to Australian communities. Please welcome the Chair of Rotary Foundation Australia, Maurie Stack.
Welcome to Australia Day from Taree, which many of you will recognise as the capital of New South Wales. Rotary Foundation Australia is one of 8 associate foundations of the Rotary Foundation. In fact, the 8 of us, or most of us, will be meeting for the first time in Melbourne at the Rotary International Conference in May of this year. The Rotary Foundation Australia is one of 8 national associate foundations of the International Rotary Foundation. The bulk of those associate foundations will be meeting for the first time in Melbourne at the RI Conference in May of this year. The Rotary Foundation Australia was formed about 30 years ago under different names. We initially were set up to run an overseas aid fund which provides tax deductibility for those who want to support the Rotary Foundation within Australia. However, as the name of that fund suggests, we were limited to providing tax deductibility for projects which were in developing countries approved by the Australian government. 2 years ago, we addressed that challenge by registering a public benevolent institution. That enables us to provide tax deductibility for gifts no matter where the geographical limit. In particular, it means we can provide tax deductibility for projects within Australia. That's particularly important to Corporate and Business Australia because naturally they want to spend their charity dollar where they carry on their business. Since we registered our public benevolent institution, we have raised $500,000. And in addition, last year we partnered with the Community Foundation of the Bendigo and Adelaide Bank, and together we raised about $1 million to support those affected by the massive flooding which occurred on the east coast of Australia. The bank has generously agreed that the bulk of those funds will be made available through Rotary Foundation Australia to Rotary clubs in affected areas, provided that they can come up with projects. As the guardian of hundreds of millions of dollars, the Rotary Foundation has developed quite strict global grant guidelines as to how global grant funds are to be provided. They just want to get the best bang for the buck. The causes supported by the Rotary Foundation align pretty closely with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. That works fine in relation to funds generally raised. But when we approach Corporate and Business Australia, oftentimes they have in mind projects which don't necessarily fit within those guidelines. And likewise, when we want to spend money from emergencies like the flood appeal last year, our clubs go to communities and often there are great projects which come up which don't fit within those guidelines. We don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. We don't want to knock back charities who want to work with us. To enable us to have much more flexibility in dealing with corporates and businesses. The trustees of the foundation met earlier this month and we don't have a written response, but we're very hopeful that we will get a green light. Assuming we get that green light, this is a game changer for the Rotary Foundation Australia and for the Rotary clubs we support. Based on what's been already approved in India, we expect that such an exemption would enable us to assist corporations that are prepared to donate in excess of $30,000 Australian. We will be able to be much more flexible in the projects that we can approve. And likewise, with clubs who are looking to spend emergency dollars, there'll be a much greater range of projects which they can support. As I said before, this is a game changer for us. We're feeling bullish that the trustees of the foundation will support this application, and that will make 2023 a great year for Rotary Foundation Australia and the many Rotary clubs that we support. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks very much, Maurice Tech.